We have officially reached 1,000 subscribers, the first official milestone of YouTube, and I figured what better way to celebrate than to review the first 10 years of the iPhone. And real quick, I don't care how much it costs, I will buy every single iPhone model I don't currently have if we reach 10,000 subscribers one day to do a full iPhone review. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video and start off with 2007 with the iPhone 2G.
An iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. These are not three separate devices. This is one device, and we are calling it iPhone.
During its time, the iPhone 2G was this revolutionary, groundbreaking product that completely reinvented the mobile phone. Keep in mind, some of the most popular mobile phones before the iPhone was the Nokia, BlackBerry, and Palm Treo. And what they all have in common is a built-in plastic keyboard like on this Motorola, as well as most not having a touch display to interact with the phone. The iPhone was marketed as this product that was everything in one, so you didn't have to carry a bunch of separate things throughout the day like a cell phone, MP3 player, or notepad. By today's standards, the storage capacity the original iPhone came in is not impressive at all, only being 4, 8, and 16 gigabytes. It did also offer a 3.5-inch display, 2G cellular, 8 hours of talk time, 6 hours of web browsing, and a 2-megapixel camera that could only take photos. Overall, this would have been a really solid phone to own and use back then, but the only thing that would put people off is the price, as it started at about $400, whereas you could get a Nokia for about $100. That was until summer of 2008, where the iPhone 3G came along, bringing 3G cellular connectivity for half the price. The iPhone 3G originally shipped with iPhone OS 2.0, making it the first iPhone to come preloaded with the App Store. Even though the App Store is technically a software feature, it would go on to be remembered as the highlight feature the iPhone 3G introduced. The App Store wasn't the only new thing the iPhone 3G introduced. As implied in its name, it also brought 3G cellular and a slightly better battery, going from 8 to 10 hours of talk time. The iPhone 3G is also what made the iPhone go international, bringing it to an additional 22 countries. If you factor in the iPhone 3G being more affordable and becoming available in other countries, it doesn't come as a surprise that it sold more than double the amount of units that the original iPhone sold. 2009 was our first iPhone year, being the iPhone 3GS. The S probably stands for speed, as it was advertised as being twice as fast. The iPhone 3GS originally shipped with iPhone OS 3.0, introducing Spotlight Search and Cut, Copy, and Paste. This was the first time you could choose what color you wanted your iPhone to come in, and the options were black and white. The battery life also got a slight bump, bringing it up to 12 hours of talk time. The iPhone 3GS was the first iPhone to have a digital compass as well as voice control. The rear camera got its first upgrade, going from 2 megapixels to 3 megapixels. And finally, the biggest feature the iPhone 3GS is known for, being able to record VGA video. When 2010 rolled around, we got the iPhone 4. Oh wait, that's not the disguised one. This is the actual iPhone 4. Some of you may be aware of that whole news incident where the iPhone 4 design got leaked at a bar in California. Here's a quick run through for those of you that don't know. The phone got left on a bar stool and someone found it and tried asking around the bar if it was anyone's phone. No one claimed it, so he took it back with him and started fiddling around with it, only to find that it was an iPhone 4 disguised as an iPhone 3GS. He then sold it to a local news branch, and that's how word got out about the iPhone 4 design.
Now, stop me if you've already seen this.
But yes, the iPhone 4 did get a complete redesign. This was the first iPhone to have flat edges and a glass back. The iPhone 4 shipped with iOS 4, bringing Game Center and folder organization for apps. The iPhone display also got its first major upgrade, going from a standard LCD display with 163 pixels per inch to a Retina display with 326 pixels per inch. The iPhone 4 also brought the LED flash that can be used for photography and as a flashlight. The iPhone 4 was the first iPhone to have a bend gate issue, being the placement of the antenna bands on the side of the phone being these black lines, where if you would hold your phone in such a way like this, your cell service would drop and you could drop your call if you were actively on one. Continuing with the photography of the iPhone, the rear camera was upgraded to 5 megapixels. There was also the addition of the front-facing camera with a resolution of 0.3 megapixels, and having the front-facing camera unlocked the ability to have FaceTime calls. And with the resolution bump on the rear camera, it also brought the ability to record 720p HD video. Then came 2011, the year we got the iPhone 4S, and the S in this case probably stands for Siri. Siri, what's the weather in New York City?
It's currently cloudy and 43
Searching the web for Siri, what's the weather in New York City?
starting tonight.
Siri, stop! Okay, well, the iOS 6 Siri on the phone just went to Google instead of actually saying what it was. The iPhone 4S originally shipped with iOS 5, and the biggest feature within the software was the ability to update the iOS version without connecting to a Mac or PC. The antennas were repositioned on the iPhone 4S to help combat the bend gate issue the iPhone 4 has. When we look at the battery life on the iPhone 4S, you get about 6 hours of use on a full charge, being the same as the iPhone 4. The rear camera got a decent upgrade, being bumped up to 8 megapixels. And with the megapixel increase, it brought the ability to record 1080p HD video. "2012 brought the iPhone 5 with a slightly larger display, and the ability to connect to 4G LTE cellular networks. The iPhone 5 did get a slight redesign, moving the main material of its enclosure from glass to aluminum. It was also when the iPhone ditched the 30-pin connector for Lightning, and granted, the benefit of Lightning over the 30-pin was you could plug it in either way, and it would charge. The iPhone 5 originally shipped with iOS 6, and during this time Apple's contract with Google expired for YouTube and Google Maps to be a default app, forcing Apple to create Apple Maps, and it didn't go so smoothly in the beginning. But moving on to battery life, it got a slight increase in capacity, going up to 8 hours of use on a full charge. And finally, in the way of the camera, the only upgrade we got was on the front-facing camera, bringing the quality up to 1.2 megapixels. The first time we got two iPhones in 1 year was 2013 with the iPhone 5C and the iPhone 5S. Starting with the iPhone 5C, the C in the name probably stands for colorful, as this was the first iPhone to come in a wide variety of colors. The iPhone 5C is Apple's first attempt at a budget-friendly iPhone, taking the design of the iPhone 5 and replacing the aluminum enclosure with plastic. The iPhone 5C started at $99 with a 2-year contract, $100 less than the iPhone 5S and the iPhone 5 before it. As expected from a budget phone, the iPhone 5C itself didn't bring anything new to the table, and its battery life matches the iPhone 5 at 8 hours of general use. When it comes to the iPhone 5S, the flagship feature was the addition of Touch ID. Touch ID is Apple's first secure form factor to unlock your iPhone, eliminating the step of having to punch in your passcode every time. It would later be used for things like Apple Pay to pay for things online and in physical retail stores. The iPhone 5S originally shipped with iOS 7, the version of iOS that moved the interface from skeuomorphic to simplicity. For battery life, the iPhone 5S would get you 8 hours of general use on a full charge, the same as the iPhone 5C and iPhone 5. The iPhone 5S brought two new video features, the first one being the ability to record slow motion video. And time-lapse video, where frames are shot much slower than a normal rate. 2014 brought some of the biggest iPhones yet, being the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus, along with it the term bend gate. The reason why is the iPhone 6's ability to bend super easy even if it's unintentional. I'm not going to be demonstrating it myself, but here's a clip from Unbox Therapy that shows how it bends really easy. The iPhone 6 and 6 Plus comes in two sizes, a 4.7-inch display and a 5.5-inch display. It would also go on to be the thinnest iPhone Apple has ever made. Depending on what size you got, you would either get 10 or 12 hours of use on a full charge. We can't leave out that the iPhone 6 also brought us the camera bump that still exists on the iPhone to this day. Last, the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus brought us Apple Pay. Apple Pay brought the ability to add your cards into the Wallet app to make it easier to shop online and in physical retail locations. To this day in early 2024, the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus is still the best-selling iPhone ever, selling 220 million units overall globally. 2015 wasn't that big of a year for the iPhone. All we got was the iPhone 6S and the iPhone 6S Plus. In this case, the S probably stands for speed or spec bump. For starters, when it comes to the iPhone 6S and 6S Plus, they were made slightly thicker to help combat the bend gate issue the iPhone 6 line faces. There is no change in battery life, where the 6S has 10 hours and the 6S Plus has 12 hours. The main feature the iPhone 6S introduced was 3D Touch. 3D Touch would allow you to quickly peek into apps or websites just by pressing hard on the screen. The rear camera got a decent quality bump, where the resolution was bumped up to 12 megapixels. And when there's a megapixel bump, it also bumps the quality in video recording, now making the iPhone capable of recording in 4K. The front-facing camera also got a quality bump, bringing the resolution up to 5 megapixels. Fast forward to spring 2016, we got a mid-cycle iPhone being the iPhone SE. In this case, SE could either stand for Special Edition or Small Edition. The overall highlight of the iPhone SE is it takes the internals of the iPhone 6S and confines it into the body of an iPhone 5S. As a result, when you look at the back of the iPhone SE, there is literally almost no difference compared to the iPhone 5S. The only difference is instead of having the S text engraved on the back, we have the SE text engraved. This was Apple's first budget phone that actually performed really well. It cost $250 less than the iPhone 6S at the time, only costing $399, whereas the iPhone 6S started at $649. Because the iPhone SE is thicker and has the guts of the iPhone 6S, the battery life is a bit longer than the iPhone 6S Plus, lasting 13 hours on a full charge. The iPhone SE does use the same 12 megapixel rear camera lens the iPhone 6S has. It also allows the iPhone SE to record 4K video. Jumping forward by about 5 months, we then got the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 7 Plus. And here's the thing with the iPhone 7. If you're hoping to listen to some of your music with your Apple EarPods, you can forget about it because the headphone jack was removed. I mean, it's not a total loss because it comes with an adapter that you can use, but you could do what I did and just go to the Apple Store and buy some AirPods. Anyways, the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus did add a few new features. Personally, my favorite thing about the iPhone 7 line is the exclusive jet black color they came in. For both the iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus, the front-facing camera did get an upgrade going up to 7 megapixels. The overall battery life did see a decent upgrade, going up to 14 hours for the iPhone 7 and 15 hours for the iPhone 7 Plus. The iPhone 7 and 7 Plus were the first iPhones to acquire an IP67 rating, meaning that they're water and dust resistant, where the iPhone can survive up to 30 minutes underwater at a depth of 1 meter.
Nah, it's not worth it.
The iPhone 7 Plus did acquire a new rear camera lens, being a telephoto lens. This is where some people could argue that the iPhone 7 line is where the iPhones start to split into the regular and Pro model. Now that we've reached 2017, which marks 10 years after the original iPhone, the first two iPhones we got were the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 8 Plus. There is only two major things that happened to the iPhone 8 and they kinda correlate with each other. The first one being the back of the phone returning to glass, and the second one being the addition of wireless charging. And the way they correlate with each other is you can't have something that's a conductor of electricity as the back of the phone. There really isn't anything else new with the iPhone 8 line except for the minor stuff like newer antennas, newer chips, and all that sort of stuff. But the battery life did see a slight decrease, reducing it down to 12 hours for the iPhone 8 and 13 hours for the iPhone 8 Plus. And finally, the iPhone that changed the iPhone forever. The iPhone X. The iPhone X received one of the biggest iPhone redesigns yet. First, the home button was removed. Now you just simply swipe up to get home. And of course, how could I not mention the all-screen design? And with the all-screen design, there was a major upgrade in the screen quality. It has jumped from a 326 pixels per inch Retina display to a 458 pixels per inch Super Retina HD display that is OLED based. Another effect of the home button being removed is it also removed Touch ID. Face ID was added in its place to allow you to unlock your phone with just a glance. The iPhone X has both a wide and telephoto lens with 12 megapixels, similar to the iPhone 7 Plus and iPhone 8 Plus. The only difference is instead of them being orientated horizontally, the iPhone X has them orientated vertically. The iPhone X is rocking the same battery life as the iPhone 8 at 12 hours of use on a full charge. And of course, the iPhone X also supports wireless charging. Before I sign off, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that has helped my channel grow and reach this first milestone, as I've been doing YouTube for a few years with this channel technically, as before, if you look back at my older videos, it's just a mash together of all the Apple ads for each product over the years. I'll be signing off here, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.